Hello everyone, I am Fareed Zaki and we are the Super Nation, physical proof that you are your only limit. So we're going to be talking about the 2-minute rule, and the reason this is so important is because long-term consistency is always dominant over the length and the intensity of short-term sessions. So I'll put this into example. For me, for example, you guys obviously must have realized I haven't been uploading in a while, and that is because I was looking for more of those longer, more in-depth episodes within a time frame that wouldn't support that within my schedule. So, the problem here is that I traded off consistency for intensity, and that's incorrect because in order to gain quality, you have to be consistent. The more consistent you are, the more skill you'll gain within that sector. So although there will be still some debate and controversy over it, this gives us more clarity as to what's more important, quality or quantity. Because quality, people don't realize this, quality doesn't come unless if there's a quantity. Now the 2-minute rule is basically a process where in order to start building a habit, for the first week or so, you just dedicate 2 minutes at a habit. You limit yourself to 2 minutes. Performing a 30-minute workout becomes just taking out your yoga mat or just doing half an exercise, if not an exercise. And reading a book becomes reading one chapter. If you're an artist and draw like me, making a drawing becomes just filling a page for 2 minutes. Now, people shrug this off, and I don't blame them. People think it's ridiculous that you just need 2 minutes every day to build a habit. Who would even think about working out in the first place if they're just going to drive to the gym and come back in those 2 minutes, or even just place out your yoga mat or do half an exercise, let alone an exercise? Now, this is actually a great example of how naturally we love optimizing things. We just love optimizing aspects of our life, let alone starting it. You even see this from people who want to lose weight or people who want to get more fit. Even if they logically use their brains and say, okay, I need to start with beginners exercises, they're still going to have that desire inside and that part of their brain that's yelling at them, hey man, do those really advanced exercises. Grab some heavy weights and just pump it up. Not recommended. Now this is exactly the problem. People start optimizing too early, and that's also a huge reason as to why people find it hard to build a habit. People are trying to learn to sprint before learning how to run, and before even learning how to walk, let alone learning how to run. There was this guy who used to be very obese but lost 100 pounds, and he followed this 2-minute rule. Of course, being in the situation he's in, it would be really hard to just do what everyone else does and go for intensity when he's just trying to build the habit, let alone optimize it. What he did, he didn't even start working out. What he did is he literally went in his car, drove to the gym, did nothing in the gym, just drove to the gym, and then went back home. It was that simple. You just drive to the gym and go back home. But then that pattern eventually became more and more ingrained into his head. So then whenever he goes to the gym, his brain thinks, aha, so this is when I have to work out. And so over time, it became easier and easier to follow up in that habit, because this likewise of addictions. Addictions are negative habits. But as you build those habits, you're going to become not hooked to it, but it's going to become easier to follow. Now, this completely destroys procrastination because people procrastinate because of the intensity and the delayed gratification. But the 2-minute rule removes that and makes it so much easier to stick to the habit that it's going to be almost impossible to procrastinate. It's going to be almost impossible to not stick to it. It will just be too easy. It'd be extremely hard to even think about procrastinating in that situation. The point of the 2-minute habit is to master the habit of showing up. In order to achieve something, you have to, over time, become the type of person who does it. In order to run a marathon, you have to become a runner. In order to write a book, you have to become a writer, let alone an author. In order to publish that great song, you have to become a singer. And once you master the habit of showing up, that'll be your baseline for optimization. Now, people may feel bad even for doing this because they may feel like they're tricking themselves into doing it for 2 minutes but then exceeding that limit. But there's a solution for that. So here's what you do when you started. If you feel like you're fooling yourself, which you obviously not in the first place, but just listen up. If you feel forced, try this. Do something for 2 minutes, but limit yourself to 2 minutes. Just do 2 minutes and stop. If you want to build the habit of meditation, meditate for 2 minutes and then stop. If you want to become a runner, jog for 2 minutes and stop. If you want to read that book, read a page for 2 minutes and stop. What's really great about the 2-minute rule is that it also reinforces your identity. What I mean is, for example, let's say I want to become a singer or publish that nice song I have or that idea. First, I have to become the singer. So I could limit myself even if I feel like I'm fooling myself, which you're not in the first place. But let's say I limit myself to 2 minutes a day of just a vocal warm-up, probably less than half of a vocal exercise. But as I do that day by day and more frequently, I'm going to start identifying myself as that type of person who tones his voice, who cares about singing. In conclusion, what you want is a gateway habit, the habit of showing up, which naturally leads you down to a more productive lifestyle and path. So try this when you intend to build a habit. Prepare to do that habit for only 2 minutes. You don't even have to execute the habit. Even the preparation for the habit counts. And this can especially help in the days where you're astronomically lazy. And as you become more and more familiar with showing up to do that habit, you're going to start doing it. And then once you build that baseline, that support for the optimization you could put, then that's when you can let your desire kick in. Optimize as much as you want in a snap. So this leads me to the end of the episode. So I've been trying to do more bite-sized podcast episodes. And as you see right here, it seems to have worked. I felt like I was able to deliver the information in a faster manner, in a more effective manner. So tell me what you think. In fact, you can go to anchor.fm, look for my podcast, and send me a voice message. You can send me anything. Maybe your feedback on the podcast, any recommendations for any future podcasts, and so on. It's anchor.fm. Again, anchor, ANCHOR.FM. And then obviously search for Supernation. Alright, that's wrapping it up. You are your only limit, so be your true self and screw mediocrity. And of course, let's not forget, get out there and give the mainstream a scare, Supernation. Woo!